All right, so today we're going to start our language workshop. And I love how all of you are sitting so nicely on the carpet and paying attention. Thank you so much for that. So remember on Monday we went over all of our community books? Well, now we are ending our time with the story Blackout. And so we are going to add Blackout to our anchor chart.
Yay! Oh, we don't have any.
So what were some of the books we read? We read Peanut Butter and Cupcake, and it taught us about being a good friend and how that's being a good community member. We read Shy, where Shy overcame her shyness to make a new friend. We read about Itch, where Ramon's sister Marisol helped him feel better about his work. And then we read Bring Me a Rock, where we said that everyone should be treated equally.
And plus.
What? Oh, plus is a math word. Thank you, Zayden, for that connection. So now we're going to add Blackout to our chart. And I want you to think in your brains quietly to yourself, what did you learn about community from Blackout? Or what was our message in Blackout? And while you're thinking about that, Mrs. Jacob is going to take this anchor chart down and set it aside because we don't have any room on the bottom. And I'm going to get new anchor chart paper and then I'll paste it later today and hang it back up.
Mrs. Jacob.
So Miles, what was our
That's
message
called messages.
in Blackout?
Narrates the nap. Max's answer.
Okay, well, what do you and Maxter think was the message that we learned about in Blackout? What did you learn about community from Blackout?
Because when the lights out, they went all the way upstairs.
Yeah, they went upstairs.
And
So-
then they went on the roof, and then when the power went out, the kitty said that they flew out.
Yeah, so those were some of the things that happened in Blackout. And thank you for helping us remember our plot
You can
and
clap for me
retelling our
whenever you want.
story.
We also like No David.
We've read No David too, but
And
that's not part of our
You can
our
just
unit.
clap for me.
Alright, I'm looking for strong, silent hands. Alright, so what did we learn about community from Blackout? What was our message? Avery, what was our message?
Look at the lights.
Yeah, so they could have just stayed in the dark and been scared and sad. Right, Maya? But instead, did they do that? No, they made the best of the situation. And do you remember what was happening in Blackout before the power went out? Sophia, do you remember?
When the power went out, they made.
What did the little boy want to do? Pete, what did the little boy want to do?
I wanted to play with his older sister and his mom and his dad. Now?
Yeah, he wanted to play games with his mom or his dad or his older sister. But did any of them play with him? No. And he was very sad. He just went up. But afterwards, do we remember what happened when the lights came back on at the end of Blackout? Sydney, do you remember?
I know it. It's the they made puppet shows.
Yeah, they made puppet shows. They chose to turn the lights back out and spend time as a family together instead of being busy. So Blackout taught us to make the best of what is around you. So we're going to write that. Make the best.
There's a bossy E.
Yeah, there is a bossy E in A.
There's a free bus.
Great, but we're not trying out, please. Make the best with what you have for what's around you. Alright, and I will add this to our anchor chart a little bit later today. I have to cut it out, so that would take a little bit too long for a lesson. But so now, I want us to go over our body. So we just did our review. And now we're going to do our behavior. So I'm looking to see everybody sitting in star. With their cookies in the jar, lips set, hands in their lap, listening ears on, tracking me. If we need something to be shared with the group or we want to say something, we raise strong silent hands. All right, thank you for showing me that. So we just went over our behavior. And hopefully we'll get to move our clips up and get some warm fuzzies. Right now we're going over our agenda and we're about to go over our learning target. Then we're going to read Blackout. We're going to finish our KWL anchor chart, and then we're going to do a thoughtful log and share time when we're done with that. And that's what we're going to do today for language workshop. So our learning target for today,
Are we going to
RJ,
do that?
our learning target, or what we want to learn in today's lesson, is that we will identify examples of community and Blackout. So when we read our story Blackout today, we're going to be looking for places where we see community in the story. Give me a thumbs up if you've got that.
I got it.
Jen,
I got a one from Funnels. When Funnels goes like this, snap, he will
Oh, I would love to hear
die
that.
there. This is maybe, this side is maybe.
Yeah, thank you.
Maybe.
All right, so now we're going to read Blackout, and we're going to look for examples of community. And I need attentoscopes on before we start our story. All right, I'll put this down. So, Blackout by John Rocco. Aiden, can you come sit here, please? It started out as a normal summer night. The city was loud and hot. Inside, everyone was so busy. Get out. And what's our little boy doing? Miles, what is he doing?
I feel like kind of stand.
You don't have to stand.
He's a girl.
Yeah, he's going down the stairs.
Yeah, and he's telling her mom or dad or his sister.
Yeah, he's trying to get them to play a game with him. Much too busy.
Yep, much too busy.
So he goes upstairs.
So, and then he plays games.
Alright, and then the lights went out.
Scary.
All of them.
And
Mom! Nothing worked at all.
Do you know that you watch a movie
Looking for strong silent hands. Alright. The city was dark and quiet and still. We huddled around flashlights and candles.
and shadow puppets?
Yow! Until it was too hot and sticky to sit inside. Can we go? So we went up and up and up to the rooftop and found the lights. people. It was a block party in the sky. We waved to everyone, then heard other sounds below. So we went down and down and down to the street. Come on. A party was going on there too. Free! Yippee! La la la. La la la. Right. Does anyone see an example of community in our story yet? Give me a thumbs up if you think you've seen at least one example of community in our story. I see a few thumbs. All right. No one was busy at all. When the lights came back on,
The one inside?
everything went back to normal. Click.
I thought it was a light switch.
But not everyone likes normal. I gotta go. Good idea, buddy. The end. Alright, so that was our story. And now we're going to transition to our KWL.
Yay!
But first, let's do a wiggle break because we've been sitting for a little while. So
Yeah.
can everyone stand up and hop like a kangaroo 10 times?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Oh, thank you for getting all of your wiggles out. All right. So
Then
first,
tell us to sit down.
yep, and you may sit in star. The cookies in the jar. All right. So we had KWLs that we were filling out as a group. Lily just pointed that out. But we're just going to fill it up, the rest of it out as a class. So what we knew about community before we read Blackout was that to be a good community member means being nice, that hands are for helping, and that when we're good community members, we get warm fuzzies in our classroom. Another thing that we wanted to know about community is it for grown-ups? And what happens when we are not nice? So, can somebody raise a strong silent hand and tell me, do you think community is for grown-ups? Grant, do you think community is for grown-ups? No? You
Yeah.
don't think community is for grown-ups? Why?
I think it's
I'm talking to Grant right now. We need to show respect for Grant.
because community is about kids.
Community is about kids in our classroom. We have a classroom community.
It's about kids.
But are there other instances? Think about our story. Pete, do you want to phone a friend, please? A friend, please. Zayden, is community for grown-ups?
No.
You don't think so? Were there any parts in our story where there was community with grown-ups?
No.
What about all the people that were at the block party? Were the grown-ups there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So would community be for grown-ups too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we just answered this question. We're going to say yes.
Yay.
Because in the family there was the mom and the dad and their grown-ups, and there were grown-ups outside at the block party. And what happens when we are not nice in our community? That was another question that we had. RJ, what happens when we're not nice in our community?
To a teacher.
Yeah, we might want to tell a teacher if somebody's being unkind to us in our classroom.
Or you can.
Oh, I'm looking for strong silent hands.
We only say kind words.
Emery, what happens when we are not nice in our classroom community?
Don't win.
No, we're fine.